Right now, it's February, or at least it's February when I'm recording this episode of the show. And thinking about vacations might not be top of your agenda right now, but soon those summer and those spring vacations will be rolling around very, very quickly. And right now, you're maybe in the mode of trying to get in shape for those particular holidays. Maybe you're the type of person who wants to look a little bit leaner when they strut on the beach and all of that good stuff. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. If it's your own choice, then great, go do it. So you might have a little forethought to say, okay, right, if I achieve all of that, if I get to the level of leanness, whatever that means to you, and I've achieved that, and I look great, I feel great, how do I maintain it without going batshit crazy while I'm on holiday? How do I actually enjoy my vacation without thinking like I'm destroying my body, destroying my diet, and all of these different sorts of things, which potentially actually just makes the holiday the shittest process in the world. Your family hate you, you hate yourself, and then you think, why the fuck am I doing this? So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode of the show, how to basically manage your diet when you're on your vacation so you don't actually fucking turn your life upside down, inside out, and end up hating yourself. What a great title for an episode that is. So if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, and if you're listening to this on a podcast, a rating and a review would be awesome. And when you finish listening to this episode, there's going to be some links in the show notes below where you can grab some free resources. So maybe you want to calculate how many calories you should be eating in order to achieve your goal. Maybe you want a free training program, or maybe you even want some information about one-to-one online coaching with me. All of that information is in the link in the show notes below. But for now, let's get straight on with today's episode. So how do you enjoy your vacation without going off the rails with your nutrition? Now, the first piece of advice I'm going to give you is chill the fuck out. Most people will only go on holiday for like 1 or 2 weeks. And if you think about those 1 or 2 weeks in the grand scheme of things, the grand scheme of life, it really is just a small, tiny proportion of everything that's going on. And you really can't go so far off the rails that you'll never be able to bring it back. If you put on a couple of pounds, you'll never be able to get that off. It's not really that much of a drastic situation. It's not a drastic situation by any stretch of the imagination. You should be able to go on holiday, enjoy that holiday, and come back and just carry on your normal processes. That's where you want to be at. You don't want to be going on holiday and have to think about being military precise with every single calorie that's passing your lips. That's just not the way to enjoy a vacation. It's not the way to enjoy life. And to me, it's not where you want to be aiming for. You should be aiming for understanding about nutrition, understanding good habits, good behaviors, good mental thought processes around nutrition, so that when you go on vacation, when you go on holiday, you feel a lot more free, you feel a lot more relaxed, and there's no guilt, there's no shame, and you enjoy. That's where you want to be. Now, I understand that if you're watching this right now, you might not be in that place. You might not be at that stage where you've progressed enough with your knowledge of nutrition, or your habits are not as ingrained as you want them to be. So now you're going on vacation and you do need some, either it's reassurance or you do need some kind of simple ways to try and manage your nutrition so that you don't feel like that you've lost entire control, you've hit the fuck it button and everything's gone to shit. I get it. So this is all part of, let's say it's a cliche word, but it's all part of a journey, people. And we are going from this stage where you may be not having much confidence with nutrition or exercise and things like that. And now you're progressing up to this point where you are really kind of mastering everything. You might be somewhere in the middle, and being somewhere in the middle and going on vacation can be quite an anxious time. So let's give you some practical tips that you can put into place right now, or at least in a few weeks or months time when you do end up going on vacation. Now I've got 6 tips for you, 6 awesome little tips. The first one is expectations. If you go on holiday with the wrong expectations, then that is going to almost seal your fate of doom that vacation is going to be shit. So trying to manage a deficit, count calories, all of that sort of stuff is just inherently difficult when you're on vacation, depending on where you go, obviously, and what you do. But for most people, it's just going to be a bad idea. Why put that extra stress on yourself to say, fuck, we can't go to this restaurant because they don't fucking have in my fitness pal. I don't know what the fuck this food is, so I'm not fucking eating that because it's not in my fitness pal. That's no way to enjoy a vacation. So the idea is that probably just discard any thought process or effort of trying to be in a deficit and trying to calculate calories. Plan for maintenance. So you're going to say, right, my goal is to come out of this vacation at maintenance, or maybe even in a slight surplus. Because like I said at the beginning, even if you do put on a few pounds, it's not really the end of the world, is it? It's not like you can't lose those couple of pounds again in a relatively short space of time once you come back from vacation. Now, maintenance as well is a fluctuating range. Maintenance, you will get a specific maintenance calories. For example, if you use my calorie calculator, it will give you maintenance calories. It'll be a very specific number. But in reality, maintenance exists in a range. And that's because when you're thinking about trying to maintain your weight, it goes through ebbs and flows. It's never going to be one solid straight line. You're going to ebb and flow around an average weight. So when you're going on holiday, when you're going on vacation, you're going to have this ebb and flow of weight. So bearing that in mind. Also bear in mind that a scale weight increase does not equal a body fat increase. They are two separate things. When you step on a scale, think about, logically, you don't have to know anything about nutrition to think this through logically. What are you weighing when you step on a scale? Now, your body consists of more than fat. So you've got your skin, bones, organs, water, muscle, etc., etc., etc. Everything else in your body exists, not just body fat. And then when you think about, okay, what are the variables within my body that could change on a daily basis? Now, unless you're like 12, your bones are probably not growing right now. I'm assuming most of the people listening to this are past the age where they've stopped growing. So maybe your bones aren't changing. So things like water is an obvious one that fluctuates and changes on a daily basis. So we've talked about in previous episodes of the show glycogen. So glycogen is like stored forms of energy, stored forms of glucose. Now, when you're in a calorie deficit, that is depleting. Your body is using that stored energy. Now, every gram of glycogen that is stored with 3 grams of water. So as this depletes, you're also losing water. This is why on a keto diet, you see a lot of weight loss in the first couple of weeks. It's basically just water loss through the usage of glycogen. It's nothing to do with body fat. They're two totally separate different things going on. Now, if you were then to go on holiday and you just eat more calories, let's say even without trying, you just ate at maintenance. So we didn't go into a surplus or anything like that. You ate at maintenance, which means you neither lost body fat nor gained body fat. But with those extra calories, your body started to replenish that glycogen. So this little glycogen battery level started to increase. Obviously, with every gram of glycogen that got recharged, let's say, 3 grams of water came with it. Now, that's not a bad thing. You shouldn't be thinking about this as water retention under the skin. It's completely different. But it is going to affect your scale weight. It's not going to affect your body weight if we're not in a calorie surplus. So bear that in mind, that water weight changes and fluctuations can happen for a number of different reasons. Glycogen is just one of them. If you're a female, menstrual cycle, hormones, that sort of stuff, that could hugely affect it as well. Stress, cortisol, that could potentially affect water as well. So water weight fluctuations are really going to be what's seen frequently. Now, yes, there could be some body fat changes and things like that, but it's unlikely. Also, with a little bit more food as well, your body might just be, when you stepped on the scales, digesting more food. You got more food in your system. You might have had a really small shit, and therefore there's a bit of poop backed up. Again, all these different sorts of things can play a role in the process. So scale weight does not equal body fat. And then just remember that you can, if you do put on any weight, it can be easily lost with a calorie deficit when you come back home. And think about making memories. You're on holiday to enjoy yourself, not to think about, you want your memories to be of places that you visited, experiences that you had with your families, not that you epically hit your macros in MyFitnessPal whilst you were on holiday. Perspective, people, perspective. Number 2 is to maintain positive habits. Now, this is a key thing. Now, you should be, if you're doing things right, you should be establishing habits right now and behaviors and processes in your day-to-day life that are benefiting you in terms of weight loss, fat loss, maintenance, whatever it is that your goal is, you've got these habits that you are ingraining right now. Now, when you go on holiday, it's not a reason for you to just abandon those habits altogether. If you've got habits that are working positively for you right now, why would you want to change those just because you're in a different country? You know, habits work in any postcode. Remember that. So, for example, if eating regularly helps you to control your hunger, do that. If you're a breakfast skipper and you like to intermittent fast, do that. If you're in a place where they have a gym and you just not necessarily want to have a full-on workout, but from a mental perspective, just getting you set up for the day and to enjoy stuff, you want a quick 30-minute workout, do that. You know, it doesn't have to be this, oh my God, I can't do this because I've got to go to the gym. You know, it just work it within your particular day. You know, if you've got these things that you have and you do, don't be frightened to do them if it keeps you on track mentally and physically. But also be flexible. Remember, there is a time and place to relax and recharge as well. That maybe why you're going on vacation is to de-stress, recharge the energy levels, take a bit of a break from training. All of these things are good and positive things. Remember that achieving your goals and achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve, like that leaner, healthier life, is about a mental side of things and an emotional and a health side of things, not just maybe aesthetics and physical. So remember that as well. You can also adopt mindful eating approaches. So things like thinking about like feelings of fullness, eating without distraction, all of these different sorts of things can help you in these scenarios. So maybe it's a case that you are feeling a little bit more free when it comes to your food choices on vacation, but actually you've got underlying habits and behaviors that are still serving you well. Number 3 is don't judge yourself. There will be situations where you want to have a little bit more food. Maybe you're at a nice restaurant, it's fucking good, you want a second helping. Maybe you want that nice looking dessert that you've had your fucking eye on for 2 nights. You see everybody else ordering it in the restaurant, you think, oh yeah, when I come back, I'm gonna fucking nail that. There will be those situations. So don't punish yourself and don't judge yourself. Don't make yourself feel guilty or ashamed or anything like that. Again, you can have these things as long as you're in control of this process and you're not making yourself feel guilty or ashamed and you understand what it is you're doing and all this sort of stuff, then absolutely go ahead and enjoy that. Don't punish yourself with fucking 3 hours of cardio in the gym afterwards or anything like that, and don't starve yourself for the rest of the holiday. Enjoy it, move on. It really is not going to make the difference that you think it is. Number 4, control alcohol consumption. I know I'm a party pooper. I am teetotal. I don't drink, but I'm not saying that you can't drink. You can drink. You can absolutely have a drink and you can lose weight and you can enjoy yourself and all that sort of stuff. But if maybe you want to just keep a lid on things, is that you could monitor your alcohol intake and be mindful of how much alcohol you're consuming. Now, I'm pretty much sure you can enjoy yourself without getting absolutely fucking hammered. You don't need to be stumbling around, falling in hedges and pissing up lampposts to enjoy yourself. You can enjoy a night out with 2 or 3 glasses of wine and then call it quits from there. That's just me making an assumption. So you could even, choose some lower calorie options if you enjoy them. Like if you enjoy things like vodka, tequila, whiskey, whatever, if you enjoy those things, they're probably slightly lower calorie than having cider, beer, wine, things like that. If you enjoy them, have them. Might be slightly better for you and you can probably get drunk on less calories if that's your goal. Also, maybe set a limit. If you feel like you need to put some controls in place about how much you're drinking, then don't be shy about putting in a little bit of a limit for you. Again, there's not this thing of, I have drunk in the past and I can assure you that I've enjoyed myself way more when I've had less because I can fucking remember what's going on. We shan't talk about the New Year's Eve of 2010. That's the last time I had a drink, people. We do not speak of this event, but maybe if you hit me up in the DMs, I might tell you the story. Maybe. Anyway, number 5, keep your NEAT up. Keep your exercise, your steps up. So when you're on holiday, most of the time, you'll be able to go and see shit, It's not always the case that you're gonna sit on a beach for 10 hours a day and just get tan to look like a leather fucking handbag. That's honestly my worst kind of view of a holiday, is just sitting there mind-numbingly bored on a fucking beach for 10 hours. I need to go see some shit and do some shit. You know what I mean? So if you're going out exploring, seeing the sights, you're naturally getting your step count up. And you're not even really thinking about it from the context of, oh, I'm doing this to get my steps in. You're doing this because that's what you're on holiday for, to see some stuff and see some sights and go do exciting things, create memories, take nice pictures for the gram, all of that sort of stuff. So make sure you plan in some good excursions and do shit. Fucking swim up and down the pool if you have to, and enjoy yourself. Do stuff that basically you enjoy. And number 6 is a good one. Well, they're all good, but 6 is good. Is focus on people, not on food. Now, by that I mean is that probably you're going on vacation with some other people. Maybe they're people that you also refer to as family. Yes, those people that you kind of piss off all the fucking time because all you talk about is food. Maybe when you go on holiday, you think less about, oh my God, it's got fucking calories in it, oh my God. And you think more about, I'm here with these people. Let me talk to these people and enjoy my time with these people, and actually, take your mind away from this whole dieting process. Because there is a chance, I'm not saying it's going to be stone cold guaranteed, but there is a chance that if you focus on people, actually some of the diet stuff will take care of itself. For example, if you're in a restaurant and you're focused on people, not on the food, you're focused on discussion, enjoyment, and things like that, you think less about the food, and you actually end up taking a little bit more time with the meals that you're eating. Potentially, that gives you the opportunity to be more mindful with what you're eating. You don't necessarily then go and overeat. Whereas if you don't talk to anyone and it's just like you're in your own sort of tunnel vision thing where you're just troughing away plate after plate after plate of food, then maybe you're in the wrong sort of balance. And again, if you're focused on people, making memories, maybe that then again naturally makes you, move more, step count goes up without even thinking about it. So these sorts of things, again, are taking the emphasis away from it being all about food, all about nutrition, more about enjoyment. And really kind of, I would say the big takeaway from this whole thing is that if you're building sustainable habits now, they will serve you well when it comes to going on vacation. If all you're doing right now is slamming calories through the floor and not really thinking about habits and how you think about food and your relationship with food, well, that's what's going to make you unravel when it comes to going on vacation. So you've got time now to start thinking about habits, behaviors that are actually changing the way you think about food, changing lifestyle, changing your behaviors, and they are going to be what serves you well when it comes to your holiday and your vacation. So hopefully those 6 tips are something you can start to think about right now and put into practice in the future. If you did enjoy this episode, come and visit me on Instagram at iron_paradise_fitness. And as well, like I said before at the beginning of the episode, you can check the link in the show notes for some free resources, information about online coaching, and lots of other stuff related to your health, fitness, nutrition, all of that sort of good stuff. Plus, if you did enjoy this episode of the podcast, you can also leave a donation because, hey, it helps me keep the lights on when it comes to this podcast and bring more content your way. When you do that, whatever value you leave, then you can ask a question and I will answer that question as part of a future podcast. So go do that. But for now, all I'm going to say is thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for watching. Keep living the lean life, and I'll see you for the next episode of the show.